Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general reading for my Capricorn people. No, energy is fluid, so roles may be reversed. You may have to flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as it best resonates for you. Also know that because time is fluid, that it could be something that already did transpire, something that's about to in the present moment or will in the future. It's up to you to take it as it resonates. But know that if it's something that already has transpired, don't just disregard it and look at the message and see how is it relevant to your situation now, because it could be influencing your situation or it could influence a situation in the future negatively. So again, this is how we can shape shift situations, right? If we know. And so again, if you were intuitively called to this video, there's a reason why. It's up to you to get the message from it, though, right? I just wanted to put that out there. I also would like to put out that whoever is the dominant energy, so if you're the dominant energy, you'd be someone that's thinking a lot about the situation. You have a lot of emotion towards the situation that you're seeking. Now, you may not be the person that is really connected to, again, this information. You may be connected to somebody that wants to know about you, and they are obsessively thinking about you and their relationship with you, like what's going to happen. Their energy is going to be what dominates the reading. Now, this doesn't even need to be a love relationship. It could be somebody that you're connected to, even a person that doesn't like you, that's thinking, again, obsessively about you. They are going to show up in your reading. It's just the way that it works. It doesn't mean that it would be their reading, but it's, again, they're going to show up somewhere in your reading because that's how energy works. Now, I always like to look at the spiritual energy first, and then I'm going to mainly keep this as a spiritual reading. So we're going to look at like the triggers between you and your person. I want to look at like what they feel, like the hidden truths. I want to look at their spiritual wounds. I want to look at like what your twin flame journey is, what your spiritual lessons are between you two, because a lot of times that helps us approach a soulmate twin flame relationship a lot easier, because sometimes, again, we just get so emotional because we care so much about this person is not dealing with us the way that we want them to, and again, it triggers us. So understanding what your triggers are, what their triggers are, how they unconsciously trigger you, and what they truly feel. Again, people that have spiritual wounds, they're not comfortable about expressing their emotions. So it's about looking at the spiritual influences of your situation. Okay, Capricorn, that's what this reading is going to be all about. Now, again, if you guys like this video, by the way, you want to give me a like, you want to subscribe to the channel and write the word healer in the comment bar. And if you won, again, you'll know because I'll write winner right underneath your comment. And if you see the word winner underneath your comment, just reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com, and we can set up a time that you can get your free reading. So again, those three things are: like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word healer in your comment bar. All right, just wanted to put that out there one more time. And again, if you haven't heard from me and you said, well, I did this and I don't know whether I won, go back to the comment, look, see whether or not I wrote winner. And if I did, just reach out to me through my email. Again, pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. All right. Now, without further ado, let's look at the spiritual energy that's underlining your situation. What's influencing synthesis. I like that word. Synthesis is almost like we can see the signs and the symbols. Maybe again, someone you again, I'm kind of feeling like either you or your person, everything is reminding them of you, or you are reminding, again, are reminded of them everywhere through, again, little signs and symbols. That happens when we, again, are trying to avoid somebody sometimes. Sometimes we have really strong feelings for someone and we're not really expressing them, but they're always in the back of our mind. So we begin to see this person in everything and everyone. It's again fantasizing, and that's exactly what I felt like. Feel like you are connected to someone that is, again, it's a spiritual connection. So you both have a very strong soul tie. And because there's so much strong feelings and you guys aren't talking about talking to each other or talking about the situation to really anyone, because again, nothing's going on. I feel like you both are keeping it in the 3D, and the 3D is kind of a little bit fantasy, but it's also a little bit psychic, where like both you guys are remembering a relationship almost from a past life. I know that that sounds crazy, but soulmate twin flames are divine unions, and they're divine unions brought together to teach, to heal, so that both parties can evolve. And a lot of times they knew them in past life, and most all the time actually they do. That's where the familiarity comes from. In actuality, it's like, I know you from somewhere, even though I've never met you. I feel like I know you and I'm so comfortable with you, you feel like home to me. There's an intense love, and that intense love, it does create a lot of fantasizing, again, where you're like really connected to this person in the 3D and they are to you. So they might not know that this is a spiritual relationship, but they see the signs and symbols. They see, and they also can feel, again, the difference between this type of relationship and one that's surface, right? The soul relationship is deep, is one where you feel like it has a hold on you, like you can't control it. And that's what love is all about, right? It teaches us that love can't be manipulated, that it's not about ownership, it's unconditional love. And soulmate twin flames have that for each other, even with all the problems, even with all the issues. There's again a familiarity and just an unconditional love. And then nervous, but somebody is nervous. So again, we're just going to look at it like that. So this is the underlying energy. Again, someone that is very connected to you, knows that it's a spiritual relationship, but you guys are not talking. There's a lot of communication in the 3D. It's again, that again tells us it's a soul relationship, because soul relationship is connection through the heart and the mind, which is ESP. So again, there's a familiarity. There's a lot of deja vu. When we see synthesis, there's a lot of deja vu. I'm seeing you everywhere. But again, if the person's nervous, well, they're nervous because you're not in their life right now. They're not, and if they're fantasizing about you, again, if they're not really in a relationship with you, they're again imagining who you are. So there's a sense of disconnect. I don't really know why there's a sense of disconnect, and I really didn't want to pull different, again, the Weight and Rider deck. So we're going to just look at the spiritual triggers, and we're going to look at different soul cards to figure that out. I want to look at the triggers first between you and your person, and then how they manifest out. Okay, so past, I had a hard time letting go of the past and the fears associated with it. So they manifested in chaos in this relationship. So it's again, this person is nervous because again, how they treated you, and they didn't treat you well because again, they again based the relationship with you on everything that's already happened to them in the past. It's like they had a bad relationship where somebody took a lot of their money, took a lot of their resources, didn't give equal give and take reciprocity, and they lost a lot. And I feel like they felt like they gave a lot, not just financially, but emotionally. So this person's fearful that they're going to get hurt. So this is very common that person would be like, I like you, but it's almost like easier to stay in this fantasy realm of not knowing whether this can work out and actually not grounding it. And I also feel like this person is, because of what's happened, they're not confident in the fact of even knowing how to be in a relationship. And that happens when we're in abusive relationships. Okay. And the other, trust, I feel very uneasy in this connection because I can no longer trust. Okay. They can no longer trust you. But is it trust you, or is it just trust? And I can no longer trust. But because they don't trust because of what happened, they don't trust you. But meanwhile, they're the person that is feeling uneasy. They're the person that's, again, which, so there's a lot of projection here. And probably because I'm feeling like you're not kissing their ass. And so this happens with people that are wounded. People that are wounded, that have been in abusive relationships, they tend to want to be coddled. They want to be reassured constantly. This person, again, had a very hard time with anything, again, giving anything. They were detached in the relationship. So I feel like they ghosted, they breadcrumbed, they never really gave because, again, they're past. So they have trust issues. So now, because you didn't act the way that I feel like they expected you to act, which was kind of like to kiss their ass and to chase them and make them feel comfortable because that's what they're used to. Because you didn't do it, now they're like, well, do you really like me, or is this like a game, or like, again, looking for problems, like trying to create a self-fulfilling prophecy. This person, again, is nervous, so they already have one foot in, one foot out. They'd rather stay where they're fantasizing, to the point that they're suppressing it and they're seeing you everywhere, because that's how that works, right? The more that we try to ignore something, the more that we see the signs and symbols of it. It's, again, that spirit tells us. It's almost like in our face. It's like the more that you're trying to not think about someone, the more that you feel like you think about them. That's what I'm feeling. And the reason why is because this is a real connection. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of fire. This is a divine union. But this person, again, has a lot of trauma from past relationships. So the problem that I have with them is that it's, again, they're projecting a lot. Now, what are your triggers with them? Because I don't like this. But they have a trust issue, but I'm telling you, you would have trust issue with them from the way that they're acting. So gaslighting, I felt out of touch with my reality because everything I knew was being deflected. I woke up and saw the truth. And that's, again, this person created a lot of gaslighting because, again, they have trust issues from their past relationship. So they didn't want to end this relationship because they have feelings. So they still wanted you to give to them. And that's why I said they wanted you to like chase them and to coddle them, when meanwhile they weren't giving anything because they have trust issues due to their past relationship. So again, and when you didn't do it, then it's like, well, now I have trust issues. But it's, again, I believe that this person created trust issues with you because of the way that they acted. So one more, which is ignored. I do not feel heard or valued. My feelings seem to be ignored and it hurts. So yeah, this person, again, has feelings for you. And again, I'm sure when you were telling this person that you felt gaslighted and what was happening, how you felt, they were saying, no, 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 this is your fault. This is your fault. And they kept deflecting it. I want to look at some of the hidden truths. What are their hidden truths? Because a lot of times, like in our relationships, we don't, again, that there's a lot of wounds. Both parties are not that good at communicating, and usually at least one person is not very emotionally intelligent. They're usually very detached. They don't know how to work the emotions. And that's usually the challenge between like a soulmate twin flame relationship. One person tends to think very logically, and the other person tends to, again, take the approach um, more from an intuitive way, which is how they feel. So again, very rarely are they on the same page. They don't think the same way. They don't do things the same way. They don't handle things the same way. So the relationship's a divine union that's brought together to draw out the wounds of each, which I see abandonment. And again, where your person coming in and out of your life created abandonment and then again made it like gaslighting. So they were very toxic. And they said that. They said, again, I was toxic due to my past situation. But then the person needs to get healing and they need to stop dating. Because it's, again, it's almost like they keep poisoning the next relationship because of their behavior. And they know that. So I can't stop thinking about you. Well, yes, because they, again, this is a divine union. So this person is trying to like control love. And then on top of it, they know that they didn't treat you right. They know that they took out on you what really transpired in their past relationship. Maybe again, they needed to stick up to their ex in some way, or they felt so scarred from their ex. So it's, again, they almost like played out this same theme within a relationship with you. And now, of course, their subconscious is like, I see you everywhere. I sit looking at you and I see you everywhere. And I just can't stop thinking about you because I really have so much feelings for you. But look at what I did. So again, what I see, this person is going to have to surrender their ego in order to come back, because they, again, I think that they thought that they can control love. I think that they thought that they could get over on it, that they were just going to try and forget about it because, again, they gaslighted. They did a lot of things wrong. And now what they're realizing is, oh, now I have feelings. Now I have feelings. What am I going to do? I created a lot of problems, and they know that they did. So they would have to apologize, which means surrender their ego. Because again, what I see is that's this person that you were dealing with needed a lot of healing. They played a lot of games, had one foot in, one foot out, gaslighted, pretended like they didn't care, projected a lot of their bullshit. You felt ignored. You felt like the person didn't really care. It created trust issues within you. Now it's, again, I feel like you've taken a few steps back and this person is like, now I can't stop thinking about you. Now I really have feelings. I hope that you can forgive me one day after all this. After all this, how do you feel about them? What's your hidden truth about them, Capricorn? I left you before you could leave me. I guess like you saw how this person was acting and treated. So you just was like, peace out. So this person caused a lot of chaos. And even though that they did, I feel like you detached from them at that time because you were like, okay, well, I already see where this is going. But it's unfortunate because there's still feelings. It's like, but it's like I can't be with somebody that is so reckless. And that's what the energy here, that this person that you were connected to had a lot of trauma, unhealed trauma. And, you know, whatever problems they had in their past relationship that were unresolved, they brought into this relationship. And now they feel bad. Now they feel bad. Now that you're gone, they're like, oh, now I have feelings. I can't stop thinking about you. Yeah, that's partially your conscience because you didn't handle the situation properly. You speak to me through music, so I feel like a lot of, you know, your hidden truth is you too. Like, and it's not uncommon. Like, you know, like this energy of synthesis is like, I see you everywhere. I feel you everywhere. It's like, I can't stop thinking about you. And then guess what? You too are still connected like many soulmate twin flames. Just because, again, two people are not getting along, the connection is still there. Again, the unconditional love, the divine union, why you two were brought together in the first place is is still there, just like how it has transcended from past life into this life, and probably will again into the next life, until the spiritual lessons are fully learned and you both agree not to, that you both have this deep, connection to each other, that you see it and feel it through. So there's a sense of not both of you not being able to walk away, even though this person acted like this. And this person normally, like I said, wouldn't give a shit, would just walk away. But what they're realizing is, like, they have feelings now. But their problem is they're seeing that they have feelings after they did all that. And now you're like afraid, is what I feel like. So let's see again what their other lessons again, or messages, or again, when I said lessons, like what spiritual lessons maybe spirit wanted to share from this union, or what other messages that your person has for you, any other deeper truths, anything else that we can look at. Fights, argument, conflict. So it's again, what broke up this again relationship really is that the person gaslighted. And because they gaslighted, it created a lot of fights, arguments, and conflicts, which causes huge problems within intimacy, by the way, just so that you know, because intimacy is all about trust, and what came out here was trust. Like the person saying, I have trust issues in you because you're not like putting up with all this. It's like, and you're like, oh, I have trust issues with you because you don't make me feel safe with the way that you're acting. It's again, you are the person of my dreams. So it's again, I believe that both you people believe that there's true love there, though. It's again, I believe that it's not uncommon. It's like, I do love you. This is the way it looks. Because again, only God's love is perfect. So when you're dealing with the soulmate twin flame, you're dealing with someone that has a lot of the same deep-seated wounds that you have. And again, someone that's going to trigger you. So there's this like unconditional love and this hold and this deep spiritual connection that can't be broken. But then there's also all this pain and hardship. And the reason why is because, again, the relationship is designed to draw out your wounds. Again, again, God looks at us, or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, looks at us as each person has their own individuality, right? Their own life, their own soul path, their own soul wounds. And every single person's job here on earth from a spiritual perception is to evolve into higher states of consciousness, to evolve into unconditional love, which is back to source. That's when we're looking at things from a spiritual perspective. And when I'm doing soulmate twin flame relationship from a spiritual perspective, that's what this is. So what this lesson is that even though there's a lot of bumpy roads and there's trust that issues, both people still have an intense love, and they're learning about this. So both parties might have grown up in really imbalanced environments where they didn't feel loved growing up. So the reason why for this divine union is, again, to heal all those past hurts of not really feeling loved, and to realize that love is not a thought. Love, we don't control love, that it's again, unconditional love just is. We have absolutely no control over it. If there's no expectation, there's no ownership. You can't manipulate it. You can't break it. You can't end it. It transcends all time and space. It is the strongest energy because it's done, again, soft. Like, again, when we look at love, right, it represents cups in the tarot suit. It represents water. It represents emotion as water. And water is really that element over time, whereas way rock and stone, it's done gently and it's done without manipulation. So there's a lot of love here that with both parties are learning, like, I really shouldn't love you at this point. There's so many obstacles here. You created so much pain, but I still have this connection to you. And the other person says, I don't really want to be in a relationship because, again, I've had nothing but bad relationships. I think it's better to just keep it surface because I can be in control. This way, I don't get lost in it. And what they're realizing is they can't control it. They try to, but their subconscious mind is still telling them that you are still very much in their heart, in their consciousness, that they can't escape it because you're already inside. Again, I'm sending you love energy. Can you feel it? So I believe that this person again is prideful. It does want to again get back together, but if they're not coming towards you, it's because again they're prideful. They know that they have to surrender their ego and they're having an issue with that. So, but they're trying to manifest you back. You're trying to manifest. And I believe that you also, again, love this person unconditionally. So you're also kind of sending this person like good thoughts, even though they didn't treat you that well. I'm afraid of losing you. So it's again, I believe that this person didn't treat you well. And again, you backed away. And again, due to their past relationship, and what they're realizing is that this is a divine union and that they can't control it. And that they want to come back. They want to talk to you, but their pride is, what they struggle with. And having to apologize. And then sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. So again, very common with soulmate twin flame relationships, that ESP connection, right? It's like, I feel like you know me. I feel like you're inside me. I feel like it's again, because it's deep, it's real, and this person's used to surface. So it really is terrifying to them. And I feel like they know that they're a little shady. It's again, like with how they were acting. They were, gaslighting and trying to make it like you were crazy and trying to make it so you gave them all the energy that they didn't have to give. So they have flaws. They know that they have flaws. They don't really want you to see all that. One more for this. And then it's growth. I'm going through physical, emotional ascension symptoms. I need space to rest, but from a higher perspective, I'm releasing old energy. So this person is going through a dark night of the soul. Due to this experience, it's created an awakening within them, which is what a soulmate twin flame relationship does. It again, it's the catalyst for change. This energy, which let's see if I can find it. Like this energy of synthesis, right? It's again being able to see it, fantasizing again, and having this strong, again, connection in the 3D, but being nervous because of the way that they treated you. And then having to look at everything that they did once you separated, which you did. Now this person has this realization, oh, this relationship is a lot deeper than they thought. And they realize that they, have to come back and apologize. And that's not exactly the easiest thing to do because it, again, means that they have to take responsibility. And I don't think that this person ever did that before, which is why they're going through an awakening right now, because it's almost like everything that they thought they knew about themselves and about their life is different. It's again, and mainly because this relationship is deep. And it's deep, so deep it's made them look at themselves, which is what a divine union does. I want to look at their wound lost, not knowing what to do, feeling they have no purpose. So it's again, it's like that's what it's in the dark night of the soul, who they thought that they were. It's again no more. That's a death of who they were. So that obviously they're not physically dying, but whenever we go through a dark night of the soul, we're awakened to what's not working, things that we don't like. And then there's actually like a shift in consciousness. So there's a death of the ego. And that's actually what this person has to go through in order for them to come back to you. Because as I said, what does that mean? Well, it means that they're going to surrender their ego. It means that this person again is prideful. They didn't want to really take responsibility for it, but they can't help it. It's again, they see you everywhere, they feel you everywhere. You again feel them everywhere, see them everywhere. This is a divine union. Divine unions we cannot control, we cannot manipulate. It's pure love. That's all that this is. You can't, this energy can't be manipulated. You both are realizing that. Even though there's been a lot of problems, even though it's a difficult relationship, both parties are like, I still love this person. I believe for your person that you're connected to has never had a deep relationship like this before. So used to being able to treat people the way that they want to be treated. And you didn't put up with it. So now they were faced with either I'm going to lose you, which I don't want to do again, or I'm going to have to change. And so this person is saying, well, I don't want to lose you, so I'm going to change, but they don't really know how to change. So when they again are looking at all the change, it really does create change, because ascension symptoms are again is when we evolve. We have to have a shift in consciousness. And again, that's almost like a death of the ego. And the ego is not who we are, it's who we perceive that we are. So I believe that your person believed that they were macho, they believed that they could have anybody that they want, they believed that they were so slick that they could manipulate and gaslight and were never going to pay a consequence, because again they did this all because they were afraid to emotionally really connect with you due to a past relationship. And what they see is they created a mess, they play a lot of games, because at the end of the day they still have intense relationships, intense feelings, and want to have a relationship with you. And so now it's again, it created a dark night of the soul. So last message out for again, which is going to be a twin flame soulmate again message. Let's see what they would want to say if they could to you. If they could say anything to you, what would it be? We want to know. This message is for Capricorn. What would their person, their twin flame soulmate, want to tell them after all this? Because now they're going through a dark night of the soul, that they really have feelings. They realize that, is it going to be, are they going to come out with a clear message in what they'd want to tell you, or they still need a lot of healing where they're still emotionally not going to be able to say it? Let's see. Please give me a second chance. I still love you and want to start over. I want to share my life with you. So the dark night of the soul makes them surrender and come back, and they realize again what they want, but they create a lot of issues. So what this shows to me, Capricorn, is that you stood your truth. You stood in your power. You did not cave. And because you didn't cave, it made this person look at what they did. And they wanted to forget about it, wanted to take the easy way out. And what they realized is it's true love. And they couldn't do it. It's a divine union, one that they didn't pick, one that God picked, one that is again made for healing and transformation and all that stuff, which is what's happening to them right now. They're transforming. Now, do they know this on a very deep spiritual level? Probably not so much, but they definitely know that this relationship is divine, and they know that it is like no other, and that it is deep, and that they want to make it work. So again, if you resonate with this, give me a like, comment the word healer in your comment bar, subscribe to the channel, and let me know whether you resonated with this, because this is great. You're the catalyst for healing this with this person. And there's still love, even though they created a lot of aggravation. So I think that that's a nice story. All right. Until next time, be true to you. Bye.